Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So good afternoon everyone. Dr. Bhatt and Dr. Patil and all my respected and dear colleagues, friends. It's always very fulfilling to address a gathering of lawyers because they tend to remember everything. Yeah. Even if I meet you after 15 years, you may quote something, oh, you said this so many years back. And you also have the zeal, the valor, and the activism. I mean, India got freedom because of, almost all of them were lawyers. So, it's really fortunate that I have been invited here to address all of you, and on a topic that's very close to my heart, spirituality and the environment. When it comes to environment, or for that matter, any problem that we face, our natural tendency is to blame someone else. Oh, it's not my problem. We had Ram Jetmalani ji, he had come to the ashram, he was addressing us. He started with a nice, jokingly, he said, he was blaming the politicians, how they are responsible for what is happening. So he said, if one politician drowns in a river, what do you call that? He says, that's pollution. But if all politicians drown in the river, what do you call that? He says, that's a solution. I mean, many of you relate with that, yes. The people who are in positions of responsibility, if they are a little more spiritual, if they have the values, yes, our country would be a better place, our planet would be a better place, no doubt about that. But at the same time, when we are pointing one finger at someone else, three fingers are pointing to us. We have to take the ownership that yes, we are responsible for what's happening around us. Otherwise, it's like the guy goes to the doctor and says, doctor, I have pain all over my body. I touch my forehead, it is paining. I touch my cheeks, it is paining. I touch my chest, it is paining. I touch my knee, it is paining. Doctor, do something. So doctor goes through all the tests, urine test, blood test, sputum test, X-ray, MRI, all of that. And then he comes out with the verdict. He says, you have a fracture in your finger. So wherever you touch, whatever you touch, it is bound to pain. Yeah. So what spirituality does, it brings the focus back to us. Yes, what can I do? What can I contribute to making my world a better place? Yes? Would you like to ponder on that a little bit? Yes? Having said that, we cannot legalize the consciousness. What is good, what is bad? Yes, we have read a lot of books, we have the courts to decide. But the finest judge is our own consciousness. We know exactly when we are doing something wrong. Have you noticed that? First time you stole something, maybe a few rupees from your dad's pocket or whatever, something you did wrong. Have you noticed what happens to the body? It becomes hot. Yeah? Or you break a traffic light. Now the cop has called you. What happens to you? Maybe as lawyers, it doesn't bother you. You know how to handle the cops, how to handle media. But still, your consciousness knows what is right, what is wrong. And it is very creative. If you want to do something wrong, in spite of all the laws, maintaining all the laws, you can still end up doing the wrong. Yeah? We have examples of that. Enron. It followed 356 environmental rules, laws, and yet made one of the biggest scams we all know, right? So that is where the domain of spirituality lies. How can we legalize that? How can we become aware of what is good? What we need to do. And as Dr. Patil also said, he gave you the perspective of space, yeah, where we are not even a speck in the entire universe. Yeah? I want to give you a perspective of time. See, our life, which is, let's say, 60, 80, 100 years, how much is it in the perspective of human, the Homo sapiens, let's say? We've been around on this planet for millions of years. The Earth has been around for 4.5 billion years. Do you know that? It is also validated by our Vedas. 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth was just a hot mass, and then how it solidified, and then how water came along, how the initial first microorganisms started, then how life originated, all the flora and the fauna, and after 4.5 billion years, we are here today. And do you know the sad part? In the last 100 years, we have destroyed what the planet took 4.5 billion years to make. So many species are going extinct. We hear that. And yet, if it does not touch us, it means that we need to increase our level of spirit. Those spiritual values need to come up in us. That we feel that this is happening. And yes, I am responsible. I can do something about it. Yes, we talk about all sorts of pollutions. There is so much of traffic. Bangalore, I came here 21 years ago, first time to the Art of Living ashram. It was a very different place. Today, there's such traffic. A margin of our life goes on the roads, in the cars, or the vehicles. And so it has changed over the years. Yes, there is global warming is not just a concept. We can feel it. Yes, summers need to be hot. But, last year was the hottest year in human history. Do you know that? And we are responsible. We say, oh, but I'm not cutting trees. Yes, but are you planting one? Whether we do something or we don't do something, we are still responsible. Now, what is the biggest contribution of global warming or the environmental pollution? First, number one is power generation. And we can't do much about it. Yes, we need to be much more aware and conscious when you're leaving the room. You switch off the lights or, carpool, something like that, so that we save energy, power generation. Okay, second most contributor to the global warming is, what? Guess? Vehicles is the third. The entire vehicular traffic of the world, whether it is bikes, cars, planes, trains, buses, ships, that is third. You know what is the second? It is the non-veg industry, the meat industry. Some of you, I can see but most of us, we don't have this idea. A vegetarian meal requires certain amount of soil and land and water. A non-vegetarian meal takes 30 times more resources than that. You know that? So the simplest thing that we can do is just change our food habits. And yet it is the most difficult. Because, I love the taste of meat. The ability to contribute or make a difference to our planet, to our surroundings, it just boils down to few simple things. Yes, our greed or our ego or our sense pleasures. As simple as this. Why do I need to kill a tiger and have him put on my wall, the tiger skin? Because it's a status symbol. The pride. I carry a bag which is made of crocodile skin. It costs 1 lakh rupees. My ego gets pampered, validated somehow. So either it is ego or it is the greed. There's so much money in it, whether it is killing of animals for fashion or for food. And third is the sense pleasures. Okay, if I tell you, if you're eating meat, a non-vegetarian meal, 30 people are going hungry because of that. But I love the taste of non-veg. We are killing the entire oceans of our planet. Oh, but I love fish. It all comes down to that, sense pleasures. That's why Chanakya had said, he said, Sukhasya moolam dharmaha. If you want to be happy, it has to be on the basis of values. Dharmasya moolam arthaha. When a society is developed, it is prosperous, then it is easier to practice the values. Arthasya moolam rajyam. When there is good governance, yes, business can prosper. But rajyasya moolam indriya nigraham. For that good governance to happen, the king or the people in positions of power, they need to be able to have say over their senses. Something as grand as happiness and prosperity and good governance, the basis of that is sense pleasures. You see this? And that is where spirituality comes in. Little bit of meditation, some pranayam, some yoga you do. You have a say over your senses. You can decide, okay, I can do this, I would like to do this, or I would like to stop doing this. And we are part of this environment, as that film wonderfully put it. If you are dirtying something, it is going to come back to you, which is karma, simply. Every action has a reaction, And sometimes the reaction can be delayed, or sometimes it can be instant. When you sow a mango seed, you get mangoes 10, 15, 20 years later, right? Thousands of mangoes, isn't it? You sow a chili seed, you will get chilies little quicker, maybe a month or so. You put your hand in fire, when do you get burnt? Immediately, instantly. Yeah, that is instant karma. So there are some karmas which are delayed. Environment has this thing. What you sow right now, it is going to come back to you. There's no doubt about that. But sometimes it takes time. And in this instant ka zamana, we need everything quickly. Yeah, we lose out on that bigger vision. As we said, cosmology, the space. Look at your life from that perspective of space and the perspective of time. We're having a joke. He said, see, how do you want to leave your planet for your children, for your coming generation? No, he said, how do you like to leave your planet for yourself? Because you have to come back here again. See, the breath stops, body goes, but what about the mind? Yeah. Mind, we say, is a field of electromagnetic energy. It is energy, and from science, energy cannot be created or destroyed. Yeah. So we do take different forms. How would you like, what kind of planet would you like to come back to again? Can we do something about this? And when there is stress in the mind, then we cannot take good decisions. Yeah? That's why these spiritual values, meditation, pranayam, yoga needs to be done by our decision makers, from people like you who can make a huge difference to our society. Yeah. See, when you are stressed, when you have a headache, and a beggar comes to you, what happens? Go away. Isn't it? We will just ignore totally. But let's say you've just been proposed by your girlfriend, or something nice has happened to you, you've got a raise, you've hit the lottery, something just has happened, and some beggar comes to you. What happens? Either you will give something, or there will be that feeling inside, Arey, in logon ke liye kuch karna chahiye. Something should be done to these people. Have you noticed this? What is different? Your state of mind. When you are stress-free, when you are peaceful, when your prana is high, then you can take much better decisions. You can take bigger responsibilities. That's why Gandhiji himself was a lawyer and advocate. And though he was a very busy person, he would meditate twice a day. Do you know that? All religions, people from all religions, they will come, they will sing, do a little satsang. They would read maybe the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and they would all meditate, morning, evening. There is one quote by Gandhiji. Yeah? You know Gandhiji? He's on our currency notes. A very busy person, right? And whoever, there many people contributed. He was one among the greats. But yes, he used to meditate twice every day. And he used to say that I am so busy today, I cannot do my 1 hour of meditation. Today I will need to do 2. Usually that is one fashionable excuse we have, no? Oh, something good you want to do, you want to meditate. Abhi nahi, abhi bahut kaam hai. Let me finish everything, then I'll meditate. When I did the course, I was studying in my second year in IIT Bombay, and people said, is this the age to do meditation? You will become a sadhu, you'll become a baba. And I had done the Art of Living Happiness program. I realized how my concentration improved tremendously, my expression, my grasping ability, my ability to take responsibility. I became a much better sportsman, a student, a son. So it improved life in every aspect. So though my friends and all ridiculed me, yes, I would laugh with them. Yeah. I was the butt of many jokes, I would help them out also. We would put a poster, Art of Living poster, there's some course happening. I would only put an F before the art. Then more people look at it and they'll put some graffiti, and that way, the word would get passed away much easily and faster. So the ability to laugh at yourself, this is also spiritual in a way. Yeah? And I learned it from the program, from the Art of Living. And then slowly people started to see, oh, you are improving in every aspect. What is it that you do? I would tell them, I breathe. Come on, what do you mean you breathe? So I would invite them, and so many of them joined me, and it made a difference. And they started taking responsibility for what was happening in the university and in the city. When the riots happened, the IIT people were the first to approach them, because many of them had that spirit of volunteerism. They had done meditation. So all I'm saying is that we need to have this spiritual basis so that we can make a difference to our world in a much bigger manner. So the 3 things that I talked about are greed, ego, and sense pleasures which stop us. And when we say prakriti or paryavaran, avaran means that which surrounds us. Paryavaran means that which is everywhere, and it is part of us. So we need to have that ownership. Yes, the environment is an extension of me. And that is how it was in all our scriptures also it is written. Say, yo vedado swara prokto, vedante cha pratishtitaha, tasya prakriti linasya parasya maheshwaraha. When we talk about Shiva, he became the creation. It's not that he created it. Then he would be separate from the creation. He became the creation. Namo Devyai Mahadevyai Shivayai Satatam Nama Nama Prakriti Bhadraye Niyata Prantasmata. So this whole Prakriti, whole creation is nothing but the divine. And what does divine mean? Why did we put it divine in religion or in spirituality? So that we have the love and respect. Only when we have love and respect and that ownership, this is mine or this is me, can we do something about it. Otherwise you can hear thousands of lectures, read a lot of books, but it will not come into action. It will not come into conduct. And that has been the role of religion over the years, that it has made them divinity, as Dr. Patil was also saying. We consider rivers as spiritual, as matas. Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati. Or every tree is special, it is worshipful. Every stone, the mountains. So that's what, if we can take it from here today, that yes, spirituality is an integral part of our life, and we can make a difference if we just raise our level of prana. So one last thing I would like to say. We talk about so much pollution, environmental pollution, noise pollution, and sound pollution, and soil pollution, water pollution. The biggest pollution is what? Mind pollution. Yeah. See, when we are stressed, what happens? We create that sort of a field around us. Have you noticed that? Yeah. If somebody in your house is very angry or upset, do you notice the whole environment of the house changes? Yes? Yeah. So one by one, we have to look at each person, each individual. You know? So this mind pollution is really very dangerous. And if each one of us takes that little time, few minutes off every day to meditate, do some yoga, then wherever we go, there'll be happiness. You will create that sort of a space around you. We say there are two types of people. One is, wherever they go, there is happiness. And the second is, whenever they go, there is happiness. Yeah? Now we have to see, where do we belong to? You know, I was meeting one of the topmost lawyers in Kenya, and he told me this joke. I mean, you must be aware of many lawyer jokes. Yeah? Let me end it with this. Would you like to hear one? Yeah? And I hope you don't have any eggs or tomatoes with you. So this guy, he calls up his lawyer's office and says, lawyer secretary picks up the phone. So this guy says, yeah, this is so and so, may I speak to my lawyer? So the secretary says, sir, I'm sorry, he passed away yesterday, he died yesterday. So he says, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Next day, again he calls up his lawyer's office and says, I'm so and so, can I speak to my lawyer? And the secretary says, didn't I tell you that he died the day before? He says, oh, I'm sorry. Third day, again he calls up and says, can I speak to my lawyer? This time the secretary is wild. She says, haven't I told you so many times? He's died. Why are you calling up again and again? He says, I know, but it's so nice to hear. So I hope the lawyers here, NLS gives really wonderful education. You have a fabulous Vice Chancellor, Venkatrauji. A very spiritual person as well. So when people in decision-making positions, they are spiritual, then it makes a huge difference to the whole ecology, the ethos of our country and our planet. Yeah? And can we just close our eyes for 1 minute? Yeah? Just let's close our eyes for 1 minute. And feel this connection, You're sitting in this hall. Just expand your mind to fill up the hall. Take a deep breath in. And let go. Place yourself in this whole campus of NLS. In the entire city of Bangalore. Though we are just a dot, yes, but we are a part of it and we can contribute. Just expand your mind to encompass the whole country of India and the entire planet. Just relax. You don't need to make effort. The more you relax, the more your mind expands. Let your mind expand, fill up, reach out to the moon, feel the coolness of the moon. Up to the sun, feel the tremendous heat of the sun. You are part of this solar system. Let your mind expand, the billions of stars and heavenly bodies, billions and billions of galaxies. We are part of this universe. Take a deep breath in and let go. Feel the oneness. May all the beings and all the worlds be happy. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May there be peace in the environment, in our body and mind, and in the invisible, subtle world, beyond our senses, beyond our intellect. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. With a smile, becoming aware of the body and the surroundings, you may slowly open your eyes. Thank you.